So you're dealing with many subcontractors. You're dealing with them. You're dealing with people who haul water, people who haul stone, people who haul their equipment. The actual well drillers are not employees of Range. They're employees of the drilling company that Range hires to do the actual physical drilling of the wells. We understand a lot of this equipment came from Texas and Oklahoma. We also understand that Range or other companies have purchased other drilling companies just to get their drilling rigs,
just for the
to bring them for the machinery, to bring them here because there's such high volume of activity here. But as I pointed out, there's a well, there's a well down over there, there's a well over there. Within, if we could level things out within eye shot, we could probably see 15 wells.
15 wells right around us.
Right around here. Right by little Podunk Hickory. And it's a right from the Oil and Gas Act for them to drill wherever they want. It's the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania tells them this is where you can drill. They give them a permit. That's basically where they can drill. They can move a few feet, but we can't say no, you can't drill there. We have no say so.
Yeah, I'm sure you've gotten a lot of flack from at least one person who I won't name right now about your, and I believe it's inability to do anything. But their concern is that nothing's being done, and I'm sure you can understand their concern is the bottom line is it's not being done.
And it's not because we haven't tried.
Yeah.
It's because we can't.
Yeah.
Right area there with the dumpsters, that's just the area that they cleared off to use for storage of material, and they were going to put their housing units.
What's this?
That one is
brown area.
That brown area is another area which I got to get after those guys about. That's a different company. That's Atlas America, who does not have any wells in Mount Pleasant Township. They have wells in Cross Creek Township, which is literally right there. And they're going to put another compressor station like that in on that site. Again, Nancy has sold or leased that land to them. They were not supposed to do that. They should have gotten a grading permit for that.
They just did it.
They just did it. Okay. Now I don't have eyes everywhere.
Again, you have to go back and chase after them.
Now there's going to be a hassle.
Okay.
Up on the apex of the hill there, where the orange fence runs around and you can see black. That's a black liner. That's about 400 foot by 400 foot. It's 15 feet deep, and it holds about 13 to 14 million gallons of water.
Wow.
They pipe that water from the Cross Creek watershed
up to there,
3 miles, to fill that so that they could then frack the wells. There's 3 tanks there that there's wells. There's a well on that tree line straight over. There are 3 wells over the hill that you can't see. So they're going to be piping that water from that frack pit.
So they pump the water from down there,
3 miles away.
3 miles up into that.
3
million gallons?
13 million gallons.
13 million.
13 million gallons. Now
fill it up.
And then use it to fracture the wells.
Do they then pump it or put it in trucks to get to those wells?
Well, that's up to them.
So it's a little of both.
A little of both. Now, after they frack the wells, then they pump the water back up with the solution that they put into them. They have to haul that water to a water sewage a treatment plant. They take it down to West Virginia because the West Virginia rules, I understand, are a little bit different than Pennsylvania's. So they take it down to West Virginia, run it through a treatment plant, and dump it into the Ohio River.
Do we know what's in that water?
I don't know. I don't know what they treat it with. Something that when the water's put in under pressure into the well, it goes into the fissures and the crevices. And then when they pump the water back out, whatever they put in there is supposed to stay there and keep the cracks open so that the gas can come out better. That's my understanding. That's a layman's term.
So it serves a purpose. Well, that's good. That's absolutely what I need. Layman's term.
I don't know what it is.
I'm not a scientist either.
I don't know what it is. I don't know. I would assume it's not very harmful, but it's got to be treated. The water has to be treated before they can put the water back in the river. All right. Now, my aspect was as a zoning officer for the township. If you're putting in a That's a lake. That, to me,
Yeah,
that's a lake. I don't care what it
13
is.
million
If it's
gallons
15
sounds like.
If it's 15 foot deep, 400 by 400, it's a lake.
Yeah.
It's certainly a big pond.
Right.
All right. They were not required to get a permit. That was not required to be engineered. They just built it.
So there's
And-
no plans, no engineering.
No. And when I asked them, they said, "We know how to build a pond." Well, if that pond should rupture, and I don't know, maybe it's the safest pond in the world. I don't know. I'm not an engineer. All I'm saying is, if I put in a swimming pool that's got 3,000 gallons of water, I got to get a building permit. It's got to be inspected, and it's regulated.
Yeah.
And they can put in something that's got 13 million gallons of water in scot-free, in no engineering. And I said, at least show us an engineering plan. That high wall that they have over there, which are dangerous.
Did they cut out the top of that mountain, or did they make that mountain? That top.
That hill. That was a hill that rounded.
There was a hill there, so they cut the top out and dug that trench.
They dug and moved everything out to the side and made that pond, lake.
Lake, whatever. Yeah.